Good evening. Today is Wednesday, January the 6th. Today in geometry, we did section 5.6, which talks about inequalities in two triangles. There's one key theorem there, which is called the hinge theorem. I will show you when I share my screen here. I'll show you an example of what that does for us. Okay, the hinge theorem, if I look at a situation here, what the hinge theorem says, I have two angles. So we can come over here and do a second angle. Now, the key to this situation is it's called the hinge theorem. We have two sides that are the same. So let's say this right here is 7, and this right here is 7, and then this down here can be 5, and this right here can be 5. Now, if we look at the included angles, so let's say this angle here is 47 degrees or something like that. So this is 47 degrees, and we'll make this angle 53 degrees. Now, so if I go back here and connect the endpoints of these two angles, so I've got this here, I've got this here, and we will call this side A, and we'll call this side B. Now, what the hinge theorem, just call the hinge theorem, just like a hinge on a door or a gate or something, what the hinge theorem says, if you have these two pairs of congruent sides, then you look at the included angles, and the bigger angle, which in this case is the 53, has the bigger side. So we know in this particular case here that side B is bigger than side A. The key here, once again, is you have two pairs of congruent sides, and you can look at the angle between them. The hinge is always between, so here's your hinge. If you can kind of look at it, if you think about that, the two sides of this angle opening around that hinge. So as the angle gets bigger or the hinge gets wider, then the distance across the face gets bigger. So that's what the hinge theorem said. The hinge theorem says if this angle is bigger than this, then B is bigger than A. The converse says if B is bigger than A, then this angle is bigger than this angle, okay? So if we look at a couple of problems here, there's different situations we can look at here, but here's a situation, for instance, if I have something that looks like this, something similar to a parallelogram here, but not necessarily a parallelogram, just a quadrilateral, and then I can draw the line right up through the middle. Now, so if I come down here and say, okay, this side here is 7, and this side here is 7, and then this side here is, let's say we're looking basically here at this side here. Let's say this side is 2.3, and this side over here is 2.1. Now, if we call this angle 1 here and this angle 2 here, the question is, what's the relationship between the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2? And once again now, so you see you've got a hinge situation. You've got one pair of congruent sides here with your 7 here and your 7 down here. And then your other pair of congruent sides is this reflexive side right down the middle here. So one of your hinges is right up here with the side of 7 and the middle line. And the second hinge is down here with the 7 and the middle line. So you're looking at the angles inside the hinges and you're looking at the opposite side. So we're looking out here at this 2.3 and we're looking from here out here at this 2.1. So since 2.1 is less than 2.3, the measure of angle 1 is less than the measure of angle 2. Okay. Now, the one other type of problem we have, I'll go ahead and erase some of this so I can have room to work here. The other type of problem, we have a similar situation, so I'll draw a picture here. And we're looking at, I can find where my cursor is here. Okay, here we go. So we have a picture that looks like this. Now, in this case, what we have here, we have this side here equaling to this side here. We have this here is 4, and this is 5. And then we have the angles here. So this angle here is going to be 41 degrees. And the angle up here above it is going to be 2x minus 7. Now, once again, we have the hinge situation because you see we have one pair of congruent sides here with this one and this one. And once again, the second pair of congruent sides is this reflexive side right down the middle here. So both of our hinges are right here in this corner. And we can look out and see, okay, we have a 4 here and we have a 5 here. So that means this angle here, which is 2x minus 7, is less than 41 because the 4 is less than the 5, so that means this angle is less than this angle. Now, we have a range, so that the other end of this, if you think about how small can this angle right here be, and the answer is it can be as small as 0, but no smaller. Because if it gets to be less than that, then you don't have a triangle. So if we solve here, once again, we add 7 to all 3 sides. I mean, we can solve this inequality. It's what's called an extended inequality. So we add 7 to both sides. So we get 7 is less than 2x, which is less than 48. And then we divide all 3 parts by 2. So we divide this by 2. And we divide this by 2. So we get 7/2 is less than x, which is less than half of 48, which is 24. Okay, now, so that's the type of problems you run into in section 5-6. Now, for Thursday and Friday, your assignment, this is Thursday and Friday, and I will put this in OneNote also, but you can see this for Thursday and Friday. Okay, you're doing the chapter test, which is on page 381. And you're doing problems 1 through 25, which is all the problems that are on that test. Now, this is the test for chapter 5. So you have Thursday and Friday to work those problems. Either attach them to an email and send them to me, or insert them into OneNote in your test and quizzes section, and I'll find them there. Okay, so I will stop sharing now. As always, if you have questions, if you don't understand any of your homework, send me an email and I will get back to you. And I hope you are doing well.